Hey, how are you doing? My name is Allan Miles, and I want to talk to you a bit today about the level of action needed to make organic marketing a success. Sorry about the rubbish background, but this is straight up content that I want to share with you today. Over the next 5 minutes, I am going to share with you how I went from 0 to 8K per month working part-time on my online business, and I'm going to show you how you can do the same using organic marketing. So this is going to be another video about understanding how to be the best version of yourself. As I say, my name is Allan Miles, and I want to talk to you about the misinformation put out into the market when people start trying to grow their business organically. So personally, I'm not afraid of hard work. Just to give you a tiny bit of background on myself, when I was 25 years old, my mum died. I ended up blowing all of my inheritance on a fancy apartment because I deserved it. So here I am, about to become homeless, and I started working 2 jobs. One of them was building a business, and another one was cleaning train carpets. So fast forward 10 years, and I'm now on a path to long-term financial freedom. That original business that I built, I sold. I then ended up with another business that I built to 7 figures. And here I am now in the online space. So for me, I do this because financial freedom is something that I want to bring to as many people as possible. That is why I'm here today. So I'm here to talk to you about business today. I also run a health and wellness business, but today is straight up about business. And I want to talk through about online business through organic, and why you would want to do that when you could just turn on Facebook ads, you could turn on YouTube ads, etc. And there's one very clear moment that every single business, every single person who's an entrepreneur who's looking at doing something online should 100% go down the organic route. If you are bringing a new service or a new product to market, you have to validate this. And you do that by using organic traffic, organic outreach. Unless you've got a very big wedge of cash that you're quite happy to set fire to and not get anything from, you have to be willing to invest time into marketing the offer organically. And when I say invest in time, I don't mean you should spend 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, very slowly, organically marketing your product, hoping that somebody will buy it when you speak to 5 people a day. That's not what I'm talking about. When you can get somebody to put their hand in their pocket, reach in and pull out their credit card or some money to pay you full price for your product, it's at that moment that the offer is validated and you consider using different approaches. You can then consider scaling your organic approach and investing some money into that. Or you can look to use ads and put some money into that because you now have an understanding, yes, the market wants the offer, and yes, you have an understanding of who wants it and where to go and find them. Kind of think of it this way. If you just go straight to ads, it's kind of like trying to light a fire with no matches. If you pour a load of petrol onto lots of dry wood, but you don't have a flame or a spark, anything to start the fire, you're never going to get that fire lit. Ads are the same. Like, ads are fantastic if you know what you're targeting, who you're targeting, and you know that your audience want it. But until you know your audience want it, you don't really have any place messing around with ads. You run the risk of wasting an awful lot of money. So why do people struggle with organic marketing? Because something that I hear a lot of when I say to people, you need to do organic, or I've been spending lots of time doing organic, and their response is, but why? It's really difficult, it's hard, it's really time consuming, you don't get much from it. The big problem is volume. Like, your problem is volume. In every sense of the word. You're not loud enough and you're not doing enough. Like, you have to really crank up the volume. If your organic outreach plan is to get in front of 10 random people every day, or try and have 3 or 4 conversations every day, you can't expect sales. And if you get some sales, you got lucky. Because if you look at an ad campaign that is successful, because ultimately what we're trying to do is emulate the kind of success that you get from a successful ad campaign, well, how many people does the ad campaign get in front of? It depends on your budget and the length of time it's over, but it gets in front of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And then from that, you get conversions. From that, you get leads. From that, you get engagement. From that, you get conversations. From that, you get traffic. Whatever your end goal is, you have to get the volume. If you don't have volume, you don't get sales. And will everyone buy your course? Of course they're not going to. But you have to get out there. So my rule of thumb is that you need to aim for 100 to 200 interactions per day. At this point, loads of people go, click, I ain't doing that. And I'm not saying you need to have 200 conversations. I'm not saying you need to add 200 people every day. I'm saying you need to interact. You need to have interactions. So this can be a range of things. And I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. But yes, this does take time, because for anyone who knows anything about Facebook as a prime example, if you are starting from scratch and you have a very quiet Facebook profile, like, you're going to get flagged very quickly by Facebook's algorithms when you start doing much of anything. You're going to add 5 or 10 people and it's going to flag you and remind you only add people you know. You're going to go to your suggested friends list. There's not going to be much of any use in there. You're going to all of a sudden come unstuck, because once you've messaged your mum, your brother, your sister, your nan, and a couple of friends, you've run out of people to message and you don't want to go message them again. So very quickly, you're going to start to hit some brick walls. So you have to be able to play the field. And there's lots of ways you can do this. Some people will tell you to focus just on one platform. And other people will tell you that you need to go really far and wide. I think there's a happy medium, especially when you get started. And the key is understanding who is your ideal client. You need to have a rough idea of who your ideal client is. Ideally, and this is what I do with my clients, is I make sure they have a crystal clear view of who their ideal client is. And then we go and find them. Because just like in the real world, like, ideal clients hang out in certain places, and generally where you'll find one, you'll find others. So whether it's a case in the offline world, they're in an exclusive club, or whether it's a country club, a health club, a bar, whatever, they go somewhere specific. Online is no different. Where is that place? That's the first job. You need to understand who they are, how they identify themselves as, because somebody who's a multi-millionaire probably will not be in a group on Facebook called Group for Multimillionaires. Like, they don't identify themselves as a multi-millionaire. And if they do, they are going to be quite difficult to work with. You need to understand who are they as a person. Are they a dad? Are they a husband? Do they enjoy golf? Do they enjoy going on boats? Do they enjoy buying islands? Like, what do they do? How do they identify themselves? Like, think of this in a bit more depth. If you focus on one platform, you have to go very deep in the platform. And over a period of time, my personal approach is that you need to be on all platforms, but you have to do this in a way that is a sustainable and doesn't necessarily overwhelm you to the point of exhaustion from day one, because there's other things you have to do inside of your business, like service your actual clients, besides just attracting new business. I do think you need to start to widen your horizons quite quickly. So you need to have an aggressive plan in place of how you quickly can bring in Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, how you can bring all of them together. But to start off with, pick one, pick a main one, and then pick a secondary one. So once you start to hit limits inside of that first platform, you then go to that secondary one. Between the two, I would say for the first month or so, maybe even first 6 months possibly, you're going to be okay with just those two. As you start to hit limits on both of them, then you would add in a third. And when you hit the limits on all three, then you bring in a fourth. And the thing is, a lot of people think, oh, it's not achievable. I can't do that. It's going to take me too long. I don't know enough about it. But think of it this way. For any of you who have ever been to a gym, or who have ever gone on a fitness journey, or who have ever started running or anything like this, at one point, you started and you either couldn't run 400 meters or you couldn't lift 40 kilos or like 80 pounds, whatever. And then you set a goal. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to run a marathon, or I'm going to bench press 220 pounds or 100 kilograms. And you created a plan. And then you went in and you took action. And then you became stronger, or you became capable of running further. Whatever the goal was, you did more of it, and you consistently did it. And sooner or later, you became better at it and better at it and better at it, until what you originally did that first day you walked into the gym was easy. And then you could do more. And this is no different. You have to work this muscle. This is a skill that you have to learn. And it is a very, very valuable skill that you can learn, because the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And the more you can then increase your load. It's so, so important to understand that this isn't just something that should be super easy to do and that it should just happen overnight. Like, it does take a little bit of time, but it's very achievable very quickly if you have guidance from somebody who has already done it and can show you a path of how to do it. So the organic marketing quick start is really straightforward. Number one, understand your ideal client. Number two, find where they interact, because when there's one of them, there's likely lots of them. Number three, interact with them in every single possible way. So you have to consistently, which is number four, consistently take high volumes of action. So we're looking for 100 to 200 interactions per day. What do I mean by interactions? Likes, friend requests, comments, conversations, a mixture of all of them. Okay, you want to get a balance between all of them. You want to be adding a good amount of people. You want to be making sure you're liking content. You want to make sure you're dropping comments, not just any old random comment. If you go onto Instagram, you post something, you get some random comment telling you how amazing your content is and you should come and view this person's content. That is not the kind of the comments that you'll want to be doing. You want to do comments that add value. So you're going to go into a group where your ideal client is hanging out. You're going to see questions, and you are going to dominate the value in that comment. You are going to put so much value into your answer. People are going to be like, whoa, that's amazing. And then they're going to click on your profile, and then they're going to look at what you do. And then you're going to make sure you're having conversations every day. So anyone who interacts with you in any way, shape, or form, whether they send you a wink, a like, a love heart, they send you a comment, they send you a friend request, anything, you are going to try and have a conversation with them. And you're going to have a conversation with them by being a human being and talking to them. You don't have to say some weird stuff. You're going to have a normal conversation with them. And inside of my coaching programs, we obviously talk through in much more depth how to guide a conversation to get to where we want to be. But the bottom line is you just need to be a human and have a conversation. So as I say, a simple approach. Number one, understand your ideal client. Number two, find where they are on the internet, because like I say, where there's one, there's lots of them. Interact with them. Number four, take high volumes of action, 100 to 200 interactions a day. Repeat every single day until you can validate your offer. And then at that point, you decide on if you want to scale your organic approach, which means bring more people in to do it, duplicate the process, or do you want to go and turn on ads? It's at that point that you make that decision, and you might decide you want to do both. My name is Allan Miles. I specialize in helping people bring on an offer or a service online, bring it to market. Personally launched my own offer, went from 0 to 8K in 3 months, working part-time on my business. If you want to make 2020 the year that you took control of your life and became financially free, click the link below. Let's see if you qualify for my Quick Start program with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of content inside of it that has been pulled together from the past 15 years of experience I've had inside of business, online and offline. Speak to you soon.